So let me get this straight. We're going to do a Tron movie with no Tron. That's what you're selling me. A Tron movie with no Tron. Not even a mention of the guy. In fact, I looked up an interview. Bruce Boxleitner, who played the original Tron, he didn't even get asked. He did a video saying, hey, hope you guys go see the film, because I think honestly he wanted more film so that hopefully he could come back one day. But that ain't happening because the film bombed. You know what? Before I go on my ramble, this was a paid request from Frame by Frame. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, reviews, movie reviews, re-reviews, happy to review something again. Tier list, a ranking, a live stream commentary with someone, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, whatever the case may be. Video game playthrough for an hour or full playthrough, whatever random topic. PayPal's the best way to do it. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. So, thank you. Now, first and foremost, Tron films have never been box office hits. So I don't know why Disney thought making a third film and making it a bigger budget, why they thought things would change. Because they've always flopped, or at the very least underperformed. This film cost anywhere from $180 million to $220 million. It made $140 million worldwide and only $71 million in the US. And I'm sitting here, I could have told you that. Other people could have told you that. Because Tron is not a box office moneymaker. It never was. It underperformed back in the day, in 1982. Tron Legacy did not do that well. That's why they didn't go. They wanted to make another one, but Disney didn't do it. They wanted to do like a TV show or something. They didn't do it. But then for some reason they did this. And then you waste your opportunity in making Tron 3 by doing this horse shit. Now listen, whether it does well at the box office, I mean, doesn't hurt me per se. Yeah, if you're a big fan, you want to see more of these stories, it fails because they ain't going to touch Tron anytime, anywhere, maybe never again. And if you make crap like this, maybe for the better. But, I mean, okay, for example, I love the first Dredd film with Carl Urban. I would love for them to have done a sequel. I think it would have bombed. If they did a Dredd 2, I don't care what the word of mouth is nowadays, it would have bombed. Just those type of action films, unless you're John Wick, you get lucky, it would have bombed. But at least we could get, hopefully, a cool sequel. That'll never happen. They'll just reboot Dredd and that. At least, if you don't kill the franchise, since Tron was always going to bomb, so no matter what the movie was, this was going to bomb. But at least to have a decent film out of it would have been nice to suffice. You didn't even do that. This is easily the worst of the three Trons. Now, am I a diehard fan of the first Tron? No. Do I like it? I don't mind it. I like Bruce Boxleitner. He has that kind of heroic vibe stance that makes him work as the guy who fights for the users. Like, he fits that type of role well. I liked him as an actor. I liked him in Babylon 5. I liked him in other stuff. I like Bruce Boxleitner. Jeff Bridges was fun, had a charm to him, was kind of the audience for those sequences. I like David Warner, rest in peace, who was the villain. The visuals, I think, were really good for their time. Yeah, they're dated, but it's 1982, and man, they were ambitious. And it's fun to look at in a charming way. But that underperformed back then. And again, I don't love that film. I don't rewatch that film. I didn't grow up with that film. I saw that film like once or so when I was a kid. And then throughout the years, I've seen it less than this in my entire life. It's been less than 5 times. So it's not a film I rewatch over and over again. But I don't mind it. I don't mind it. But I don't love it. Tron Legacy, when I first saw it, because I didn't have this big knowledge, nostalgia, anything for the first Tron, I saw it and went, okay, cool eye candy. In retrospect, I don't really give a shit much about Tron Legacy as a story and characters. I don't like that Bruce Bottchleiner's character was... You don't really know it's him, and then he has like 2 lines, then he dies, or whatever the fuck happened. He's a bad guy, and then he's a good guy, then he dies. Like, what the fuck? Like, but because I didn't grow with Tron, and now I have learned more, I have gained more knowledge of it, and I've seen the first film a few more times. I'm like, no, I like the character. It was disservice in the sequel. It's a cool, again, nice eye candy. Nice soundtrack by Daft Punk, but, you know, as a story and stuff, it wasn't that great of a movie. I know some people like view Tron Legacy as this grandiose No, I don't view it that way. Blade Runner 2049 I do, which I'll get to that later. But, yeah, Tron Legacy, it's not that good of a movie. It's good eye candy, sight and sound. But as a movie, a story, this is even worse. The eye candy I didn't think was as spectacular as Tron Legacy. Tron Legacy wowed me more with the visuals and the lighting, like all the stuff they had in there. Other than the DH Jeff Bridges, that looked it looked bad then. It looks even awful now. But I'm talking about like all the other stuff, the action scenes. Those stuff look cool. Here, the high points you saw in the trailer, which wasn't much. So the action scenes, this director who did Pirates of the Caribbean 5, if you remember which one that is, and Maleficent 2, so I don't know why the fuck Disney thought this was the guy to do this. The story, I never thought the idea of bringing Tron to the real world, or I should say, those aspects, those... bringing those aesthetics to the real world was never an intriguing idea to me. I mean, you might as well just watch, I don't know, fucking Pixels with Adam Sandler or some shit. I mean, that stuff didn't... Or it just becomes like an alien invasion movie type of thing. I know they're not aliens, but I'm just an invasion movie. But it's not even that. Like, literally, you get very few action scenes packed in this 2-hour movie. Like, the stuff in the city, it's the car light cycle chase, where one of the only things that happens is the cop car being divided in half. That's really the only thing that happens. Other than that, they're just driving down the road, and they swerve a little bit. Then they hit some fucking boxes, and the lead girl, Eve, the Asian lady, she flies off in hilarious CGI to land conveniently safely somewhere. The end with the, what's that called? I forgot what the fuck it was called. Recognizer? The thing that's like this. The fighter jets are fighting in it, that's all it does. That's all it does. Some of them break off to go around. The one fighter jet breaks his wings. The other one fucking with it, and it hits one of the legs of the... That's all it does. If you think it's going to be this big thing where it's going to be more of these, and it's going to be an army of these things and other stuff, no. They literally showed everything in the trailer. Which wasn't much. So even in the entertainment style, it was fucking shit. And let me keep repeating, there's no Tron in a fucking movie called Tron. What's this, a Batman movie with no fucking Batman? Jesus Christ. I don't know why all the stories they went with this. Even if you like Tron Legacy, they don't even follow those characters. They just say Sam, the lead character in the second film, who's supposed to be the son of Jeff Bridges' character, he retired under some circumstances. And then at the very end, apparently Jared Leto's character is going to look for those two. How the fuck he even knew about? Okay, just because. What the fuck? The whole thing was stupid. It was dumb. in terms of the decisions made, the direction they went in. It was all fucking dumb. And quite frankly, it was also made a pretty boring fucking movie. The setup of the film is you have these two companies, ENCOM and Dillinger. For those who don't remember, Dillinger was the name of David Warner's character in the first Tron movie. Apparently his daughter is Gillian Anderson's character, yes, Stoley from X-Files, and then her son is kind of the main antagonist who's running the Dillinger company. So I just was with, I think, sorry, again, I'm not aficionado on the first Tron film, so I may get some stuff wrong about it. But I think David Warner ran ENCOM, and then because things happen, things split and stuff. So you have the ENCOM company ran by Eve Kim. The only bit of character we get throughout the film is that her sister died, and she's running this company. She is trying to look for this thing that apparently Jeff Bridges' character had called the permanence code. Because Dillinger, they're able to bring stuff from the digital world to the real world, like 3D printing, but it only lasts for like 29 minutes. So while the bad guys, they're able to create these tanks, and Jared Leto's character, Ares, we would create the weapons, we need to create a soldier. Granted, you could train a soldier and fucking pay him off, and then, you don't have to worry about them for lasting for 29 minutes. But, whatever the fuck. Sure. I'm sitting there going, why don't you just, wouldn't it be cheaper to hire a guy who can last more for 29 minutes than to build this, whatever the fuck. So the idea is that they're hoping to get this permanence code thing as well. But Eve and her buddy find it in this Alaskan station. Before I go on, the characters suck in this movie. Eve, the lead lady, she's not that good of an actress. I don't know what the hell she's been in. It doesn't help that most of her dialogue is just exposition to explain the plot. I think it's not that tough of a plot to figure out, but so many people are just explaining this is what's happening, this is what had happened, this is what's going to happen. The only type of stuff you get of actual regular conversation is like Jared Leto talking about how much he likes Depeche Mode. There's really not much else of actual character work of that front. So Eve and her buddy, like I said, find the permanence code thing. They're able to make this tree, and it's been staying there, and they're going back on a plane. Meanwhile, the bad guys have Jared Leto's character, Ares. So, like, the guy, I'll just call him Dick Dillinger. I forget his first name, but he's a dick. Dick Dillinger, the double D, hacks into ENCOM because we want to steal some info. So while he's typing that, we visualize Jared Leto and some others, including, I think, the black lady from The Acolyte, which she can't act for shit either. And here's the thing, Jared Leto, honestly, he's not... People want to blame Jared Leto. I don't think Jared Leto did that bad of a job. I really don't. For what he was given, you've seen this type of role before. The person who was created to be a weapon. And hell, Jean-Claude Van Damme did a better job as Luke Devereaux in the original Universal Soldier. And that's really what this is. In terms of that part. A guy created to be a weapon, and kind of just be robotic. In that case, brought back from the dead, brainwashed and stuff, and then learning stuff about empathy, learning, in that case, regaining memories and eventually being a hero. We've seen this done dozens of times. We've seen it done dozens of better times. So it's a very familiar... See, Tron was such an original idea in 1982. It was so unique. And they took a unique idea and they made it so fucking formulaic. Where's the creativity? Where's the ingenuity? There ain't none in fucking Hollywood. This is one of the many 50 fucking reasons why Hollywood's fucking dying. And also, they make dumb decisions. Again, if you're having money problems, let me tell you, Tron was not going to save you. They never made money. I could have told you that. Hire me. You know what? Don't hire me, because I don't want to work for your sorry fucking ass. Fuck you, Disney. Pieces of shit. So Jared Leto, before I go off and them go off, and that's what you did. I would say our first actual action scene where they're in the red, they fight the ones in the other colors, and I don't know, just the fight scenes, there was I didn't feel anything for it. It was soulless. People in visors doing this. You can't see anyone's faces because everyone's in a visor. Sometimes you can't tell who the fuck is who. They're doing these fucking flips and they're doing the thing and the red streets, and sometimes they're moving for barely any goddamn reason, moving on their arm on it and do this and do that, and it was like a dance. Tron ballet. I didn't feel a fucking thing. It was nothing that will be remembered days after you watch the fucking movie. So they destroy a couple of the others. They get the info. While Jared Leto's getting the info, we've seen all this stuff about Eve Kim. So getting her life and that she's empathetic. And oh wait, this lady maybe I could trust. She seems like a nice person. Gets back to the digital world with the information. Before that, one of his men gets hurt. He tries to help, but Dillinger just destroys them because he'll just rebuild them again. And Jared Leto's thinking, maybe I shouldn't trust this guy, who just will destroy us and rebuild us and whatever the fuck and doesn't care. So he reads a lot of files on Eve. So then, long story short, Dick Dillinger finds out that Eve has this permanence code, or at least some info on it. So he sicks Ares and the chick from the Acolyte, and that's where you get the light cycle, where again, the only 3 fucking things happen. The top card gets cut in half that you saw in the trailer. Cool shot, but, okay. I'll give you that. It's a cool shot. Eve revs her motorcycle, jumps off, and it hits the Acolyte lady. And then she gets in the light cycle. Oh, whoa, what the hell? Now, some people complain, well, how could she control that? Well, number one, she's barely controlling it. She's steered. Also, if you don't complain about that, then how the fuck did Jeff Bridges control the fucking light cycle in the first Tron? Not only that, going through all those fucking mazes expertly and win and not die. I mean, that would be a hell more of a feat than what this lady did. Again, there's a lot of shit to complain about with this film. There's a lot of dumb, stupid shit about this film. But that, to me, is not a deal at all. I just mentioned that because that was like one... call a nitpick, call a complaint. I'm like, dude, again, if you don't complain about that, you have to play about Tron. And again, the first Tron, I wouldn't even say the first Tron had the best dialogue either. I'm just being honest. But I do think Bruce Botzleitner gave an earnest, not Ernest P. Worrell, but the other earnest performance. And Jeff Bridges brought charm to his Flynn character. And humor. And that helped. You don't really have that with this. No one was charming or brought humor. Jared Leto, I mean, again, he's doing what he's told. But if this was something where there should have been other stories that could and should have been told, and for some reason these dumbasses thought Jared Leto would be a big star, he's not. Now there are films he's been in I've liked. Requiem for a Dream I liked. American Psycho I liked. Was it Dallas Buyers Club with Matthew McConaughey? I liked, and he did a good job in that. I love Blade Runner 2049. That's a sequel, legacy sequel that was done years and years later that a lot of people hate. I get it. They find it too slow and boring. I do think the film is overlong. I think there's little stuff like the Jared Leto stuff you did not even need in the movie. That should have been left for something else. I can agree with that. Like Jared Leto, you did not need him in the movie. But I love Blade Runner 2049. Fuck, I'll say it. I liked it more than the original. I don't hate the original, but I like 2049 more. You be pissed to be all you want. Oh well. That's my honest opinion. So to me, that shows you in my own. And that wasn't a box office darling either. Because even the first Blade Runner wasn't a hit. But at least I got a good sequel. Again, a sequel that I liked more, and I thought Deckard. It's like one of the few Harrison Ford characters that had to be a satisfying ending. He got his daughter. Indiana Jones, he was an old fuck. I find out his son's dead, and he's like a feeble old man, and I guess gets back with Marion. Then in Han Solo, don't get me started with that. So, I mean, that's a whole other thing. But no one was really asking for a Tron sequel. And if they were, they wanted something that dealt with the older characters, but you don't do that. Jared Leto is not a star. Morbius sucked. Joker, in that first Suicide Squad film, his performance sucked and that movie sucked. The sequel, I thought, was better. And he... You know what? I'm not going to say he sucked in this. I thought he was alright. Like, he did what he, it was nothing impressive either, because I really do think the writing is a big problem, and the direction. Like, the director, he just directed traffic in this. I didn't think he had impressive shots. The action scenes were below mediocre. He didn't bring a sense of excitement to it. The writing of the characters, AI, felt like AI did write this fucking script. Ironically enough, since we talk about AI, maybe we find out the writer's name is just a fucking AI. Another name for it, it's like Simone. You look up the Al Pacino film Simone, look that up, where he's a guy who like made up a movie star and uses her to star in his movies. Maybe there's someone like made up a screenwriter, using him to write some of these fucking movies. I don't know. AI may write better than this, to be fair. So maybe that's not the case, because AI feels like it would write better than this. Because it's just fucking boring. It's so basic. The car chase, like, again, other than, I said there was three things: the cop car in half, the Asian girl kicking the black girl from the acolyte off and stealing her motorcycle, and then her and Jared Leto Ares are driving, and then they hit some fucking boxes, and again, not Gail Kim, Eve Kim flies off in CGI. I was worried. I swear to God, you could use that scene and put the goofy. Whoa! I would do it if I could get away with footage, but YouTube always just pisses me when I use footage. When she flies off in CGI, add the goofy. It made me laugh my ass off. She realizes he's a program, and it's about 29 minutes, so he sees that she's empathetic to him. He appreciates that as he dissolves. She gets sucked into the grid because I guess at this point they're portable and can suck her to the computer system. Dick Dillinger wants Jared Leto, hey, make this bitch talk and kill her. Jared Leto's like, that ain't good. Hey, bitch, come over here. This guy wants to kill you. Can you find a way to keep me from not dissolving in 29 minutes? Yeah, sure. They get into a chase. They're both on a light cycle going through the grid. And honestly, this whole scene looked ugly. I don't know if, I mean, I love the color red, but I don't know if just the red lighting just somehow made it. I don't know, it's like you're driving and then going kind of underwater, and then there's all this like red fizz and shit around them. And then they go up, and because the red trail, someone behind them hits it, and big CJ explode. It didn't look that interesting. It didn't look that, whoa. It was more like, kind of shitty. So I didn't like that action scene at all. I thought that was lame. They escape to this portal. They get to the real world. They run off. They try to get to a place where they have like a particle laser thing because they need to put him into Flynn's. Jeff Bridges has this digital world. Put it there so you could go and get the permanence code and use it for yourself and all that. Again, this is when you get like the only time they actually talk as characters is talking about Depeche Mode, and then they throw in about how he sympathizes with what happened to Eve's sister and her dying and all that. Because the rest of the dialogue is literally just exposition, 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 exposition. They get to the thing. The Dick Dillinger has sent the acolyte lady to get them. Eve is like, okay, come on, I'll hit you with the thing, you'll go in. No, 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 no. There's no time. She's gonna hunt you, I'm gonna protect you, I'm gonna run towards her, but she hits the particle thing so that, no, you don't go in here, asshole, and you don't get that shit, and save at least yourself. So the acolyte lady goes in and crashes the office. Gets distracted by sprinklers because, ooh, I've never felt water or sprinklers before. Stupidly gets herself distracted. And oh, it's 29 minutes, so she dissolves, so the lead girl Eve is safe. Meanwhile, Jared Leto is in the Flynn digital world. And what do? The nostalgia bit? They make the effects look like the 82 Tron. So he goes to a light cycle that's done like the effects were done in the 82 Tron. And the world, and they even have a little bit of the music, the original music from the original Tron. I'm like, motherfuckers, you trying to really ring that goddamn nostalgia bell, ain't you? And I'm sitting there going, if this was an older Bruce Boxleitner, and he goes in, and it's like, okay, he's older, he can't move as much, but then somehow him and his computer self somehow merge together, and or they have to live together so that they could, both stay alive, and so it's Bruce Boxleitner, but then he's got the Tron. I don't know. I'd actually have to think about it like these fucking people do. Then it's like, to have Bruce Boxleitner there and with the original Tron, like, that would be kind of cool. Okay, nostalgia bait, but I can understand that. Here it's like, here's Jared Leto. Remember the 82 Tron? Here, remember the music? Here you go. It's like, okay. he meets Jeff Bridges, or like a digital version of Flynn, Jeff Bridges, and he's got the beard, and it's weird because it's a digital version of Flynn, but it's Jeff Bridges, much older with a beard. So I guess it's a digital thing he put into him before. I don't even know what the Jeff Bridges in the real world, what happened to him. Wasn't that a mystery? Okay, they might have explained that in Tron Legacy, and I don't remember it. If they did, feel free to let me know what it was, because I don't remember the explanation. But he's there, and he's talking, and pretty much they just talk about how Jeff Bridges is gauging how Jared Leto has feelings, and how between Mozart and Depeche Mode, why he likes Depeche Mode more. It's like, man, they got Depeche Mode fetish on this fucking movie. Gives him the code. Meanwhile, the acolyte lady gets returned again to the real world. Kills Dillinger's mom, Gillian Anderson, which for some reason she's doing this stupid British accent. Like she's trying to sound like fucking Judi Dench. Terrible. I don't know why she's doing that. Horrible accent. Tried to be very posh as she's talking. As she's Madame Judi Dench. Why? It did not fit. I'm sorry, it did not fit. I don't think it was a good performance, and I like Gillian Anderson, but I thought that was not good. Dick Dillinger just comes off as a whiny fucking brat pussy. Reminds me of that fucking guy in Alien Earth who loves to have his fucking foot fetish doing half the things with his feet. I mean, this guy doesn't, but I'm just saying, it reminds me of the boss in Alien Earth. Like, what is it with these guys? It's young white guys who are like whiny pussies who are the fucking bosses. So yeah, I probably have a feeling as to why they do that, which, don't get me started on that. So the girl from the Acolyte kills Gillian Anderson, creates one of those big, giant recognizers. He wanted to say regenerators, recognizer, and just moves it around the city. And so the lead girl Eve's big plan is, I'm going to run right into the middle of the street. Hey! And I'm going to run and make it chase me. Not even a vehicle of any sort. Just literally, let me run on foot while it chases me. What kind of fucking plan is that? And eventually that's when the jets come and, a couple of them get destroyed. You've seen it all. Literally, it's all in the trailer. You are not missing anything. 2 or 3 jets get destroyed. One of them crashes to the leg of the thing, which it pretty much crashes. And then I think her character's named Athena, the girl from the Acolyte. Athena is then in like this tank and has the lead girl Eve. Jared Leto gets back, throws the thing, takes out kind of the treads, crashes the tank. Then he's got to fight like 3 or 4 of them again in this kind of choreography that just did nothing for me. I didn't feel a fucking thing. And honestly, the red and was more distracting. Well, I'm trying to look at the fight, but then I'm looking at this thing here, and I'm looking at this thing here, and I don't know. I don't think they got as creative, as unique, as cool as they could have gotten with that. I don't know. Like, you could tell this guy, this director, does not direct action scenes, and especially fight scenes. I'm not even sure what he did in Pirates 5. I probably never even saw that film. But he does not know how to do fight scenes. That I could goddamn tell you. Because he did not do shit for this. Meanwhile, Eve's buddies are hacking in order to shut that thing, the bad guy Dillinger's thing, down, so that these things will be shut down, never come back for good, which is what happens. After Jared Leto defeats the 3-4 of them anyway. Then they part ways. Jared Leto is riding a motorcycle to... I don't know how the fuck he pays for anything. I don't know if... Does he just dip money from... I don't know, ATMs? I don't know. That's always funny. These people always are able to go to different countries, but they never say how the fuck they pay for it. How the fuck do you afford this shit? And we're going to set up a sequel. I'm going to look for Sam Flynn and... What's her name in the Tron Legacy? The one that was in and went to the real world. Which I'm trying to remember, how come she didn't need a permanence code? Did they explain that in Tron Legacy? I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. That took longer than I thought it would to explain the shit, but... This was just fucking lame. Forgettable. That's really its biggest sin. It's forgettable. This film is already forgotten. It came and went. No one cared. Just why should they care? No one gave a fuck. Because why should they give a fuck? If there's not a sign that this franchise is dead, this would do it. Because this lost a ton of money. Once again, Tron never made... was never a big money maker. And never has been. Even the first film underperformed for Disney. The second film definitely did. And then you put in forgettable, shitty characters. The acting from most of them were not that good. I think the girl that played Eve and the girl that played Athena from the Afterlife, they were terrible. Awful dialogue delivery. Nothing was natural from them. Jared Leto played a type of role you've seen done dozens and dozens of times. And I won't even say I hated it. Again, if I said that, I'd be lying. But it wasn't anything great. Ryan Gosling did that fuckload better in Blade Runner 2049. Which is, getting back to what I was saying. I said I would bring that back up. That was a film with Jared Leto. And Ryan Gosling was a guy who kind of learned to be human. With a great scene at the end where... No, he was not the chosen one. No, he wasn't the guy that saved the world. It didn't fucking matter. Because he did the right thing. He could have walked away, did whatever. But no, he made a choice. I'm going to rescue this guy and get him back to his daughter. That act, which led to him dying... That human choice is what makes him what he wanted to be. Human. Worthwhile. Which I thought was so much more of a better movie than this, man. I will remember Blade Runner 2049 despite what the fuck some people say. If you say it's boring, oh well. Again, I think some stuff could have been cut out. God, that makes me want to rewatch that film again now. Blade Runner 2049. I still enjoy that film. This one, I would have no... The only way I would ever watch this film again if it was a request... If I got a paid request to do a commentary. Either with someone or by myself. But yeah. The action scenes, if it's for entertainment value, you'd be bored. You would be bored. There's barely any action, and the few bits of action you get, It's all in the trailer, and that's not me being over the top on it. They really did show you everything in the trailer. And if you thought, well, if it's just a trailer, it's not much. Exactamundo. The music, I didn't mention the music. 9 Inch Nails. If you listen to it, okay, if you go on YouTube and listen to the soundtrack by itself, pretty good. I'd probably say I still like the Daft Punk music better in Legacy. Sometimes, the way they mixed it in the movie, there's so many times they used a like as if an instrument's farting on a snare drum. I ain't no farting on no snare drum. But if like something's farting on a snare drum instrument thing, they overuse that motif a lot. So I did. You listen to the soundtrack by itself by 9 Inch Nails, pretty good. But the way they mixed it could have been a lot better. Could have been a lot better the way it was mixed in. So I don't blame 9 Inch Nails for it. I blame whoever did the mixing on it. Wasn't that fucking good on the mixing? Dialogue sucked. Story. Again, I don't know who the fuck was the idiot who thought, hey, you know this stuff that's interesting in the computer world? Let's bring that shit to the real world. Why? What makes it interesting if it's in the real world? Because we didn't do that before. The fucking reason why. They're just... It's not that impressive to look at in the real world. It's hilarious. Like, I mean, I was talking about, these are not aliens, of course, but alien invasion. Look at Independence Day. That film, I think of the fact that, you know, when 1996, the dollar was very different from the dollar today. But I still think if you took the money that had and you adjusted for inflation, it would still be lower or the same budget as this movie. I think it would be lower. And then you look at how much shit is in that. Entire scenes with fire jets and alien spaceships and entire cities being destroyed and the chase through the spaceship and Jeff Goldblum, Will Smith, you know, and the others. Like, all the stuff you have in that. I'm just looking at it as entertainment value. And it doesn't have that. You did a director who's a dumbass. You did a writer that, again, I would say is AI, but I think AI could do better. And you did a Tron movie, no fucking Tron. I still can't get over that. There's not even a fucking mention of Bruce Boxleitner's character in the real world. As if he didn't fucking matter. You do know Jeff Bridges was not the only one who starred in the first fucking Tron film, right? Jesus Christ. A Tron movie with no Tron ain't a fucking Tron movie. There's my fucking last stance. No Tron, no good. So fuck off, movie. Suck my dick.